Alrighty then. Now we're going even deeper in the mines. This is one of the longer ones, and this is one of the harder ones too. Let's shake it up. Shake and bake. So I'm going to use the boost right here. This is a big long straightaway, and it's a lot easier on the first lap. So as you can see, I went to the right side of the road just as the road humped over. That's going to be more important on the second lap, as you'll see. So you can catch a little bit of air here. And what you really want to do is hold up to stay grounded. Or what you can do is let yourself catch some air. Because while you're boosting and in the air, you're not really losing speed. Because there's nothing slowing you down. But most of the time you do want to be grounded. And if you want to be safer through here, especially on the second and third lap, you might want to stay grounded through here. So we're going to go through here. We might just end up going frame by frame on this whole lap because this track is crazy. So I'm definitely holding up through here because the road humps down and there's a lot of downhill sections on this track. So the best course of action here is to kind of just tap the R button. Or you can grind on this wall, but it's not really ideal because of this next part. This next part is super weird because of this unique wall right here. You can get on this wall and slow down tremendously. Another thing, a bad thing that can happen is if you're not holding up and putting your nose down enough, what can end up happening is if you use the R button and only one of your tires is on the ground, you can end up shooting off to the right and just massively just crash. So we don't want to do that. We're holding up for our dear lives, but we got this. So what you want to do is you transition from the right turn to straight up. And what you can do here is you can see how the road kind of angles a little bit to the left as well as downhill. If you're really bold, you can try to gap this wall here and land back on the road over there, but that's super risky because you can end up just landing on this wall. So the better thing to do is just stay in the middle of the road. You want to kind of stick to the left though because of the next section. We're going down through here. And this, I'm going to try to grind this wall right here, but there is some geometry here that you can mess up. Which I did kind of mess up here and bounce off the wall. You don't want to do that. You just want to get on this wall, grind it a little bit, because it speeds you up. Why does it speed you up? I don't know. But you do that, you get off the wall at a good enough time to where you can miss this corner. If you hit this corner, it's really bad. But we cleared it. And now this next section is really scary. So it's kind of like a roller coaster. We're going up and then back down. And so we're holding up for our dear lives this whole time. We're always going to catch a lot of air because we're going so fast. So this part is really scary because of these like metal supports here. You could hit any one of these supports, either on the ceiling or on the wall. And if you do, you could very easily just crash. And it's really bad. You'll slow down a lot. But let's go back a second. And let's look at this again. Right here. So, one great tip from me, and I do this even at the top level, is at this part here, you want to tap the brake. You want to tap the brake because if you're going too fast, a lot of bad things can happen. But if you tap the brake, you're a lot safer here. You don't want to slam on the brakes. I mean, you can, but then you'll just be slower. But you want to tap on the brake, keep holding up, because if you tap on the brake, you'll be able to stay grounded easier. So through here, you can see that the road not only dips down, but also curves to the right. And so what I'm trying to do is angle myself to where I'm going as straight as possible down through here. Now, it is very risky because as you can see, I'm pretty close to this wall here. I could have very easily hit this wall and reset the run. And you really, really don't want to do that. Camera kind of tricks you a little bit. Almost hit this wall. If you land on this wall here, then you're good. You might scrape up against it, but then you'll be good for this next turn. So now we can play. So now we're at this next turn. Go up through here. We don't want to take that ramp. It's just really weird through there. Now, right here is also a tricky... It's not tricky, but it's really weird. So what we're going to do is avoid these yellow and black walls, but what I want to do is get on this left wall as soon as I can. As soon as the yellow and black ends, I want to end up right there. Because this wall will always speed you up. And I am turning into the wall as hard as I can because I just want to stay on this curve. Because through here, through this part, you end up speeding up real good. And if you can get off of this wall, like where this red and white part is, if you can get off of this wall at a speed of about 290 or even 300, then that's really good. That's ideal. And if you're really kind of lucky, you can get a speed of like 305, maybe even 310. It's crazy through here. So I've got off the wall, and now through here there's more of these yellow and black walls, which you want to avoid. And then there's more of this section here on the left. You could grind this section to speed up a little more. But if you mess up and hit this wall, you'll end up slowing down because of the angle of it. There's no angle on this wall here, but there's an angle on this one. There's a slant. And there's also another section of wall you can grind right here if you wanted to. But you want to avoid this orange, this little vehicle thing here. There's the bats. Don't they look beautiful? You could also grind this right here. There's no wall here, but it's invisible. It's an invisible wall. You won't fall into the water down below. And now this is what people jokingly refer to as the icicle, but it's really just a stalagmite. Stalactite? I can't remember. It's whatever comes from the ceiling. But if you run into this, it is very bad. You will come to a complete stop if you run into that. So you just want to be safe and go to the left of it. You could go to the right of it if you're really bold. It's a little faster to go to the right of it, but it's a lot more scary through here. This is a very curvy, bumpy kind of section. So what I'm doing here is I went to the left of it, and I'm going to do a sharp right, and then a sharp left. So we went to the right. I'm positioned myself on the right lane of this road, the right side of this road. And then I've turned back to the left, and then I'm holding up because there's a dip right here. And you want to have as smooth as a landing as you can. This is kind of a rougher landing because of how fast I was going and the angle. But you just land, do your right turn, and if you do this turn at a speed of about 220 to 240, then you are good to go. You are in great shape. Even if you go through here at a speed of about 200 or 210, you're good to go. You just keep on going. So then we go through here. This part is easier. It dips down, dips again a little bit. Now, sometimes I like to tap the brake right here because of this to make this next part a little easier. Or I could slam on the brakes a little bit more later. So what you do is you take your sharp turn, and then this is also a really scary part. This is the end of the track. So it dips down hard, and I always slam on the brakes for like a good, I don't know, a third of a second, maybe a quarter of a second. You don't really tap the brake, you kind of slam on it. Because if you don't slam the brake here, you'll end up catching too much air and you'll hit the ceiling. Or you'll hit the ceiling of the finish line itself. And you'll crash and slow down, and it's really bad. But I hit the brakes, And I'm gonna land on my front tire. That's good. You could either stay grounded, which is just a little slower, or catch a little bit of air and land like this. That's just fine. And that's the lap. That was a 54. A 54 is really good. A top level first lap would be like a 53 something. So we're cooking here. We're cooking. And now we're going to boost again. And so since we're boosting from a normal speed of about 230 when we landed, now we're going to be going faster through here. And so what you see me do is I'm on the right side of the road by the time it kind of humps over. And then this is kind of my strategy. You definitely don't have to do this. You can stay in the middle if you want to, but I'd like to show you my strat. I'm going to the right side, angle to the left, and catch some air. Because you're not slowing down, you're boosting through here. So if you catch some air, you're not slowing down. But if you catch air through here, it's more risky than staying grounded. If you hold up and stay grounded, you'll have a lot more control. But I know how to angle myself just right to go through here and not hit this left wall. If you hit this left wall, the bike could end up actually veering to the right, like at a 90-degree angle by the time you land. And you crash. And it's really bad. It's really bad because you're supposed to be boosting through here. But yeah, that's how you do that on the second and third lap. And now we can keep on going through here. We do want to slow down through here. I meant frame by frame. Remember, you don't want to turn too much, because by the time you get on this yellow road, then you're good to just hold up and a little bit to the left again. So on the first lap, I was telling you about gapping this little wall. You can almost see it happen through here. What you can do is catch more air. It's really, really hard to do this. Like, it's really hard for even me to try it. But you can catch more air and just kind of do a little shortcut through here. So we landed on the road. We're on the middle of the road. This time was a better transition onto this wall. So we're going this wall a little bit. You speed up a lot. Miss that corner. And then go through here. Holding up. Get a lot of speed. See, right now my speed is at a 290. That is very scary for going down this next part unless you hit the brake. So, yep, you can see me tap the brake right here and get a little bit of a better speed through here. So now I'm on this left side, and that's also just fine. Because as you can see, what you want to do is you really want to keep the bike as straight as you can, but you still want to turn through here. And you don't want to stray too far to the left or to the right. And remember, if you're going too fast, even if you hold up for dear life, if you're going too fast, what'll end up happening is you will dip over the road and hit the ceiling. And that's just not good. Nothing good can come from that. So just hit the brake a little bit. You want a speed of about 280 or less going down through here. So as you can see, I found it difficult to turn that time. And that is totally fine because I end up hitting this wall. And hitting that wall will normalize your position and your speed. So if you're having a really, really tough time through here, what you can do is not try to turn too much and end up kind of just slamming into the wall instead. You just kind of slam into the wall. Let's look at that again. Let's look at this again. So, I was just a little bit too far to the left, really. You kind of want to stay on the very middle of this road here if you can. And so, what you can do, which is a much safer strat, is just keep your bike straight and ram into this wall. Because if you ram into this wall, you'll be a lot safer. And that's what I ended up doing here. I hit this wall, And now I'm good to just be on this road. But you don't want to stick on that wall because you'll slow down. And so, if you approach this turn, I always look at my speed when I'm approaching this turn. I'm at a speed of 250, which is totally fine. If I hadn't hit the wall, my speed would have been about 260 or 270, which is ideal. Or if you're really good and just really transition through here smartly and fast, you can get at this point at a speed of about 280, which is really nice. And then this part is also kind of scary, but you just stick to the middle of the road and you're good to go. Now right here, remember you want to veer to the left right here, but you want to miss this yellow and black wall. If you get on this left wall too soon and hit the yellow and black, it'll kind of kick you off the wall. And you don't want to be kicked off the wall. You want to be stuck to this wall because this wall will speed you up. And sometimes the wall will kind of kick you off if you're at a bad turning angle. It takes some practice. Sometimes it's just this angle right here. Sometimes it's the angle you hit the wall at. But if you can stick to the wall, then you'll speed up real nice to a speed of 300. Now right here, just go to the left of this, be safe, do a sharp right, go on this side of the road, sharp left. I was able to stay kind of on the middle of the road here, and then have a much smoother landing through here. And now my speed is a 250, which is really, really nice. You really don't want to bang on these walls right here, because you'll just end up slowing down, and then the rest of the end of the lap is going to be a bit slower. If you bang on this wall and stuff happens in this section, you might lose a second or two. So just be wary of that. Tap the brake right there. Sharp turn. Now, what you can do is either slam on the brake or grind on the wall to slow down. Whichever works for you. I like to brake because I have more control and I like to be on the center of the road. But I did kind of brush up on the wall here, and that's fine. That happens. And a 51 is just amazing. I can't believe I did that so fast. So, caught some air. Oh yeah, this is another thing you can do. Let's look at that again. So, this is my strategy. You definitely don't have to do this. You can mess up through here. It's not very often. You'll see it coming. If you're gonna mess up here, you'll see it coming. So I went to the left, caught some air. See, I'm too much on the center of the road right now. I want to be right here, so that way I'm more on the center later down this path. But what ended up happening is, I know I'm going to hit this wall, so what I'm going to do is just accept it. And so I'm still going fast, and I'm on this whole wall right here is invisible, but it is straight. And because it's straight, it's not really slowing me down. What will slow me down is this slanted part here. And you can't help but land on it, so when you land on it, just get off of it as soon as you can. Get back on the road. And so that's a perfectly acceptable way to do that boost section. And see, this part is scary. You go through here a lot and you'll get used to it, but there's always some weird things that can happen here. So you just want to stop turning when you get to the orange road, hold up, and then you can hold left. Grind on the wall, go up here, hold up. Tap the brake for safety. I'm at the middle of the road. I'm turning right, but I turned right a little early, and I almost hit that wall. That was close. But I somehow made it out with a speed of 270. And that's what happens if you don't hit the walls here. But it is totally fine if you hit the wall and come here at a speed of 250 because it is a lot safer to do that. You'll be able to do that every time. But what you just saw me do, you may not be able to do that every time. And if so, that's fine. You can practice it at your own pace. But crashing there really sucks, especially if you're in the middle of a meltdown run or something. You can lose like 5 seconds here or more. But we're going to go through here. We're doing really well right now. We're going to look at this one more time. Miss this wall and get on here as fast as you can. That was a good angle. You want to turn into the wall as much as you can, and you want to stick to it. So I'm holding the R button, holding into the wall, and I sped up to over 300 here. That's what you want to see. And if you're really bold, you can attempt to miss this wall and grind on this little section right here. If you're good, you could end up speeding up a little more and just kind of keeping your speed instead of slowing down. Because right now you're slowing down, going back to your max speed. And right here, just stick to the left of this. You'll always be safer. Sharp right turn. And I'm holding up, because if you don't hold up, you'll catch way too much air through here. And you may not really crash, but you will slow down pretty hard. And then I did that sharp left turn. This was more of a, I didn't really do that sharp of a right turn. So this is the angle I got this time. And so, because of that, I wasn't able to stay grounded very good. And so I got a bit of a rougher landing. But that's still totally fine. If you come through here at a speed of 230, you're good to go. You just keep on trucking. And yeah, that is the deep mines. If you're having troubles with this, just keep at it. 51. It's insane. That is a really good time right there. You might end up getting times like 245, maybe a 246. You just go at your own pace. At your own pace.